remember that 2-year thing? He was like, yeah. I said, you were 100% right. I said to me and Tony, and he just laughed. He said, oh, Sam. He was like, well, hey, man. And then we moved on, So I would say a big, big red flag is how much time have they, and I don't think that that means not having to date or be friends or all of that. But I do think it means like before any engagement or like talk, maybe you can talk about it, but before any engagement or marriage, if we could do it over again, we would wait at least a year. And can I just talk to why this is hard for singles? Because I was a single and it was hard I get it. But it's hard for singles because of what we don't know on the other side. And now that I'm on the other side, I want to kind of give the perspective. What we don't understand on the other side of marriage, because we haven't been married, and y'all can attest to this, is 1 year is nothing.
Yeah.
Like when we're single, we're just like, oh my gosh, a year.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, I think, the enemy, to be frankly honest.
Yeah.
We're just like, a year. I love her. And love makes everything faster.
Yes.
Yeah, you think about Jacob in the 14 years with Laban.
Come on.
Right.
It's just, we feel like a year is forever, and I did. And then you get married and you really start learning what forever is. And you're like, I could have waited 3 more years. Because it's like, I'm going to be with you for the next 90 years, 80 years, 70. That's a long time. And I've heard this about sex, but I also think this is true with marriage. When we got married, and this is stuff, I'm going to write a book called 10 Things I Wish I Would Have Known Before I Got Married. I'm not doing it yet. I'm waiting like a couple years, 5 years, maybe 20, maybe 10 more years. But in it, one of the things that we heard that people didn't tell us until we got married is, before you get married, the enemy, we're talking about the devil, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. I've come, you may have life, have more abundantly. The enemy wants to do everything he can do to get you to have sex. And then after you get married, he wants to do everything he can do to keep you from having sex. And it's so true, right? This is why people, when they talk about getting married, I was listening to a bunch of people that are in the secular world, like famous people. When they talk about marriage today, it's like, oh, marriage is so boring. You get married and you just stop having sex. And for the most part, that's true for a lot of people, but it's an attack from the enemy. The enemy does not want you to worship together in this way. And so he's fighting that. But I think it's the same with waiting. I think the enemy wants to get you married fast so you can get unmarried quick. And so for me, I would just encourage the singles out there. Hey, a year is nothing compared to forever. Now, you can't hear that right now, but I'm begging you to.